Welcome everybody to the fifth,
Fifth.
some episode of fifth. Okay, so welcome to the fifth episode of the Yellow Kings podcast. It is your boy Toyan Kim, known as your average tech bro on the internet. I'm here with Andrew as well. Meng Meng Duck, Meng Meng Careers. We out here. How are you doing today, man?
Doing pretty well. And I just want to give a quick shout to our 12 subscribers we just got on YouTube. That is huge. That's a big win for us. And then the day that comes when we can say we are now sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, it's the day we say we made it.
I think Raid Shadow Legends would be my absolute peak in terms of like I made it as a content creator. I can die happily. That's you can't get better than that. Exactly.
Raid Shadow Legends, Skillshare, and like fucking NordVPN, dude. NordVPN.
Yeah.
We have to get sponsored by the OGs.
Oh yeah. Those are the big names in the space. But for now, we are a small pod. But thanks for coming by and listening. You know, just for those of you that are new to listening, we just like to talk about any topic that really comes up, but primarily looking at it from the lens of like two Asian American dudes, just because I think we have a pretty interesting perspective on things that other Asian American people out there might be interested in. So today's topic, it's going to be hitting a deep spot for many Asian American people. We're going to be talking about the rise of Asian culture, particularly K-pop and anime, and whether we should be cool with letting new people in and just kind of analyzing that topic. Because, as for me, as a kid, as a Korean American individual that grew up in SoCal, K-pop was a big part of my life when I was younger. But back when I was younger, which is probably around the 07, 08, 2010 era, it was definitely not cool to listen to K-pop, and it was definitely not cool to consume anime. Whereas fast forward now to 2023, man, there's never been a greater time to be a Korean man than right now. Everyone loves K-pop. Everyone loves BTS. Elementary, middle school, high school me, I would be so jealous of the times that we're in right now. But let's dive a little bit deeper into this. I gave a little bit of a history about my relationship with K-pop and anime. Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, so I was a pretty big K-pop fanatic when I was in high school. So I think the first K-pop group, all right, I can go even far back than this. So my first introduction to K-pop was when I was in Taiwan, when my brother was blasting Sorry Sorry by Super Junior when I was in fourth or fifth grade.
It's a banger.
I was okay with it at that point. I didn't really care too much. I'm just like, for me, because I was living in Taiwan, it was just music. Like, it was something that I was like, all right, cool. Like, it's music,
it wasn't
right?
exotic.
It wasn't exotic. It was just music. It was Korean music, Asian music, whatever. When I came to America in 8th grade, one of my buddies introduced me to a song by Big Bang. It was like Love Song or Tonight, like one of the two classics from 2010. I don't know if you're a Big Bang fan or not. And then I was hooked. I was hooked at that point. So K-pop was a huge part of my life in high school. Like, and a little bit into college as well. Like, I've been to a Big Bang concert. I went to the World Tour in 2016, and I also been to a G Dragon's concert as well. I think it was like 2018. And dude, you ready for a third one? You ready for this? Dude, you don't know what's coming for you. I went to A-Pink's concert.
No,
I went to A-Pink's concert. I saw Mr. Chu live. All right. I saw that no dance live. All right.
Wow.
I went to A-Pink concert in 2016. Yeah.
Wow.
I was deep in this shit.
Dang.
I don't know about you though. So I would say like the first generation K-pop was like back in like the Wonder Girls era, CN Blue. Even I'll say Super Junior was like the first generation K-pop, and then the second generation was like Big Bang, 2NE1. Who else? Who else is second generation? Like,
I mean, where do you put like Girls' Generation, SNSD? I think they're pretty early too.
I think they're like 1 and 2. Like they were still pretty big during like when I got.
We'll say 1.5. 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Shiny was another big one, and then like obviously A-Pink classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say like me and you belong to like the second generation of K-pop. I think the third generation started when like EXO started coming in. I don't know about you. I was not a fan of EXO. of EXO. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, and then like ever since EXO afterwards, I just like it started to fade for me. Like I never cared about Blackpink. I never cared about BTS. I listened to their stuff. I think Blackpink is awesome, but I was just never a fan anymore. Like I can't call myself a Blink. You know, I'm a oh dude.
Oh God, what are you gonna take out? What are you gonna take? Oh
You recognize
my
this?
God. Let me see. Oh, that's the
the
little
VIP
lighter. That,
one.
like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a dude. This is right there.
Wow.
It's right there. This was not
That's
planned.
that is impressive. That is so impressive. So okay, that's so interesting because you were definitely much more of an active K-pop fan than me, because I think for me, I liked it a lot more when I was younger. And actually, if I were to say, probably the group that I liked the most was 2NE1. Like I loved 2NE1 and 2NE1 and Big Bang were like the two groups that I really liked.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because I think 2NE1 back in the day, they had these vlogs. It's like the 2NE1 show. They would just upload their vlogs on YouTube. I watched every single one of them. They were so
Really?
entertaining for me, and probably the most Korean media that I've consumed, just because I don't really consume too much Korean media right now. Topic for another video, another podcast. But yeah, it's like afterwards, I would say my interest in pure K-pop started going away in like 2013, 2012-ish. And really lately, you're right, I'm not a Blink, I'm not a part of the army, I'm not like a modern K-pop fan as much at all.
Yeah.
And it's great because once I started getting into high school, I still listened to Korean music, but I started listening to a lot more like Korean hip hop, Korean R&B, less so pure K-pop, like the boy groups, the girl groups. I was never a big Korean ballad person. Like I would listen to a lot of, like Crush, Dynamic Duo, Primary. These are more like the hip hop R&B artists that I still continue to listen to these days. But I guess, you went to a very, very Asian high school. Growing up, and a pretty Asian college as well, at UC San Diego. Go
Yeah.
Titans, what's up? And
Hey.
I guess was it cool? Was it weird? What was the general perception of people that consumed K-pop?
Yeah. So I think in high school, it was like, it wasn't cool or not cool. It was just like something people consumed almost. I went to high school in this San Gabriel Valley to 626. So like my high school was like 70% Asian. So like
Yeah.
when people were talking about K-pop and stuff, it was just kind of like everyday conversation. It was almost like talking about like, oh yeah, I'm into like pop music. And it's like, oh, what do you like? I was like, oh, I like Big Bang.
Yeah.
So it was almost like at a certain point, it was kind of weird in my high school that some people almost like flex how much they liked K-pop. Like it was almost like, and not even in a cool way. It was just like they were just so into it, and they were so proud they were into it, which was like not cringe, but just like no one cares, dude. Like we all listen to it. It doesn't really matter. At least that's how I viewed it. At least. So
Yeah.
in my high school, like it wasn't shunned upon. It was, if anything, it was like low key celebrated. It was like, yeah, people
Yeah.
listen to K-pop. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
What was like the general vibe of like being into Korean music in like your high school?
Yeah. So my high school was pretty white. It was like 60% white. And definitely none of the quote unquote popular kids listened to K-pop or anime either. But right now, let's just talk about K-pop. And then, but it was one of those things where it's like, sure, not in the mainstream popular kids, but then you go into like the smaller Asian population. You know how there's like a separate popular hierarchy
the
within
little
like the
cliques.
smaller subgroup.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would say within the general Asian group, it was like people talked about it a little bit more. Definitely pretty common there, but it's like once you started getting into like the more mainstream non-Asian, like the white people at school, like the more traditionally popular people at school, definitely not cool at all. And man, I'm just so curious. I wish I could go into like a high school environment or like a middle school environment and like transport back in time and see what it's like right now, where literally everyone loves K-pop. Everyone loves K-pop.
Yeah, it's cool to like K-pop, right? It's almost like,
Yeah.
if you don't like Blackpink, it's like, what do you mean? You don't like pop music? You know, like New Jeans? It's like
it's kind of like when like saying that I don't like K-pop. It's kind of like when Black Panther came out and you said, oh, I haven't watched Black Panther. It's like, so you're racist. Like that's the same vibe that it's giving up. It's like you don't like K-pop, so you're racist against Asian people, right?
it's like, what, you hate Asians or something?
No, literally, yeah. It's like so crazy to not like him nowadays. I feel like
Yeah. I actually, now that you mention it like that, like that's kind of weird. If anything, like I was kind of proud that I like K-pop and stuff. Like it felt like it was like my thing, like our people's thing, like Asian people in general. Like I like Chinese pop too, you know, like Jay Chou. Jay Chou's my boy, all right. He's been, I don't know if you know who
OG.
Jay Chou is. He is
course,
like
of course I
like
do.
the
Yeah.
GOAT, all right. If
Yeah.
you want to talk about like an artist that transcends generations, there's no like Jay Chou. Like this man has transcended like 3 to 4 generations. He's been around since the
Unreal.
2000s, and it's
Wow.
like, and he's been on top of the game too. Like
Wow.
the closest runner-up, I'll say Jay Chou in terms of like popularity through generations is Justin Bieber. Or not, nothing comes
Wow.
close. This guy's the GOAT. He's the
Really?
GOAT. He's the GOAT. He is
Undisputed.
He is undisputed #1 Chinese pop star, Taiwanese Chinese pop star of all time.
Yeah.
Like all
Yeah.
time. Yeah. In my
So
opinion.
then,
But I think many people agree
okay.
with me.
yeah. No, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't listen to a lot of like Chinese pop or even like Japanese pop music, and I kind of wanted to. There's like
Let's talk
two
about
things
that.
I want to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of wanted to. The first topic that I want to talk about is how do you feel about K-pop being so celebrated, but then like Japanese pop and even to a way lesser degree Chinese pop or like Taiwanese pop being even less celebrated, and it's just like it's
Yeah.
just this weird power dynamic within the East Asian countries. And how do you feel about that as a Taiwanese American?
I think Koreans have done a fucking phenomenal job of exporting culture. Like this needs to be like a full blown MBA course on how the Korean government, because it was sponsored, it was subsidized by the Korean government
Yeah.
to
Yeah, yeah,
export
yeah.
culture to like the rest of the world. Why I think
Yeah.
it happened is because what's Korea's population? 50 million. South Korea has
Okay.
50 million people in it. So I think at a certain point you saturate your country and you're like, we
Yeah.
need to export our culture. And Korea
Yeah.
did a very
Yeah.
good job. K-pop, Japanese pop isn't that big, but they did a really good job of anime. Like anime is a global
sure.
phenomenon. I
Yeah.
think the thing about Chinese culture is #1, China and Taiwan. Less so Taiwan, but China was just behind in terms of like exporting culture because the whole like isolationist mentality. Like they didn't really start opening up to the world if you really think about it until like
Yeah.
just in the past 2 decades when they start opening up to the rest of the world. So I do think like there is a rise of Chinese culture being influenced like to like the rest of the, I guess, the hemispheres of the world. But I also think another thing about like Chinese culture too is that like it's almost like Chinese Taiwanese culture. So Taiwan kind of did the same thing if you think about it as Korea, right? After we saturated the island of Taiwan, which has like 20 to 30 million people, the next natural step was they went to China. So all the biggest Taiwanese pop star basically live in China at this point. Basically, that's where the money's at. That's where the
interesting.
people are at. Okay, think about China. China has over 1 billion population.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at a certain point, it's like, do you need to spread to the rest of the world when you already have 1 billion people to market in your country? People are trying
Wow,
to get
so
into
that-
China. Chinese people don't need to get out of China. We have enough economy in China already.
Yeah. So that's fascinating. It's almost like what K-pop is to like America was K-pop's destination, but for Taiwanese pop, China was their destination.
Exactly.
instead.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All the
that
Chinese
is-
pop star, all the Taiwanese pop stars went to China. Basically, I won't say they went to China, but basically like they built their wealth and career in China. After they got big in Taiwan, that was the next natural step. You move to China because that's where the money's
Got
at. That's
it.
where the money's at. Yeah.
So fascinating, so fascinating. And then, so I guess something that I've always wondered that I've never really been able to ask, because most of the Chinese friends my friends that are Chinese or Taiwanese, they're not super plugged into like the Chinese media scene. And I was wondering, so I guess there's like 2 theories about this. Number one is Chinese music or Taiwanese music, is it less popular in the States right now because it's just not as good, or is it just lack of exposure, Because even as an Asian individual,
Yeah.
like, I don't really go out of my way to be like, oh, what's the newest like Chinese drama? What's the newest Chinese music that's coming out? So from your opinion, who has a pulse on both K-pop and like Chinese and Taiwanese pop, is the quality there? Is it a quality issue, or is it purely just a distribution and marketing issue at this point?
I got a good answer for you. I think Korea has done a very good job of catering to the Western audience. But just look at Korean dramas. They
Yeah.
are so creative. If you look at Korean dramas back in like the 2000s, they're very similar to what the Chinese dramas all look like in the past 2 decades. It's about a high school boy and high school girl going through high school,
Yeah.
going through college, getting jobs, getting married, and then it's a love life, right? Korean dramas have evolved from that, right? We have Squid Games, we have Physical 100. It's not drama, but yeah, we have Physical 100.
Yeah.
And we have like dating shows like Singles Inferno that connect with like maybe mostly Asian American audience, but still it connected to Western Hemisphere. And I just think in general Korean dramas are very, very creative. Like I seen dramas about like, I don't know, I seen the one, it's the guy from Goblin, like they're exploring space with like it's like where if you touch water in outer space, like your body bursts into water. I forgot what it was about, but I was just like, this is so creative. This is so, and it's like famous Korean actors. It's not just about love. It's about exploration, space, and time contingencies. So I think Korea has done a very good job just like evolving and being very creative with their content that like it can cater to a mass audience and not just like people who understand what they're talking about. Well, I think Taiwanese and Chinese dramas, they start just doing this recently, and I'm starting to see it. But majority of the content and the dramas and the music that's been put on past years, there's a reason why you don't listen to it. It's because it's so specific to the culture, right? Jay Chou got big making simp songs for Asian dudes, and that's all he makes.
Wow,
It's
that's an
about
award-winning recipe.
dude, and it's magic. Jay Chou has so many bangers, and it's all about the girl he didn't get and how he wished that she just be happy. I just want to be happy. If you can't be happy with me, I hope you're happy with someone else. The fucking the deepest simp shit ever, but it connects with the audience.
Wow.
It connects with the Chinese Taiwanese boys very deeply on a deep level. So I'll say like anything about like most Chinese and Taiwanese dramas. Again, it's starting to change now. They're starting to get more creative because I watched a recent Taiwanese drama. It was called like Someday One Day or something. It talks about like time traveling and whatnot. But even then, the focus, you can predict the storyline every single Taiwanese Chinese drama. It is high school boy, high school girl, goes to high school, falls in love. And then the guy's kind of like a fuck boy. The girl's like the girl that does very well in school. And there's always like the gay best friend that's not gay, but he's just like a nice guy best friend. They go through life. The guy messes up. Someone gets hurt. Whatever. It's like the classic Korean drama story, but Korea doesn't do it anymore. But Chinese drama still does it. So it's very ingrained in the culture of Asia that you have to understand what it's like going to school there, what it's like getting a job. And if you didn't experience that or like appreciate it, you're not gonna like the drama. That's my opinion on it.
Okay, so it is kind of a matter of quality right now. It's like they just haven't really adapted to make content that can be consumed outside of the mainland, whereas Korea has done that with both their dramas and their music right now too.
I think so. If you look like Blackpink's music and BTS makes songs in English. Blackpink's music's in English too.
This is gonna be a clip. We gotta clip this part right here. This is gonna be a good topic.
Yeah.
This might be a controversial opinion, but I think I have a hard time calling BTS and Blackpink, when they make English songs, it's not K-pop, that's pop. K-pop needs to be in Korean. That's what the K stands for. It's Korean pop music. I don't think, like, don't get me wrong, it's still good. A part of me, I'm so conflicted about it. On one hand, I'm so happy that like people get to experience Korean culture and like Korean music, and it paints Korea in a great light. But on the other hand, I'm like, dude, don't stray so far from your roots. It's like you're Korean. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, for me, I feel like I'm very indifferent to it just because like I'm not Korean, and for me, I'm just like, I've been so detached from the whole K-pop community at this point that like.
Yeah.
If Big Bang comes out with music that's in English, I think I'll be pissed, actually. I think I'll be very, very pissed. But BTS and Blackpink, I'm just like, I agree with you. When I think about BTS and Blackpink, it's K-pop, but I also view it as like, but it's mainstream K-pop. It's westernized K-pop.
Yeah.
That's how I think about like BTS and Blackpink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a complicated feeling.
Yeah. Like, would you say you ideally would see like them just make music in Korean? Because it's a double-edged sword.
I know that's what I'm saying. I feel so conflicted because on one hand, it's great that it allows greater appeal to more and more people, right? But on the other hand, I'm also just like, yo, like, come on. Maybe this is also kind of alluding back to my identity issues of feeling like Korean American versus Korean, and I'm just like, dude, don't become like me. you don't want to be like me. Stick to being Korean. Trust me. I wish I could be like you. So just stick to being Korean. Don't pander yourself to the American audience, kind of. But at the same time, like, it's music that makes people happy. And I think I just have so since it's music that makes people happy, that they really enjoy, who am I to like take that happiness away from them? But I will say that I think I just listen to music kind of differently. For me, I am not a lyrics guy. I don't listen to the lyrics. I'm just about the melody. Like, does it sound good? Cool. Yeah, that's great. Like, there could be songs about heartbreak, but it's in like a somewhat upbeat melody. I'm like, yo, this song's a banger. Like, this is so good, you know? But then my friend's like, you know, this song's about like someone getting their heart broken, and it's not a happy song. I was like, oh, okay. So for me, like, the language is not that important. It's all about the melody. So I'm just like, so then it's just, I feel that, hey, you know, K-pop groups, it should be in Korean, you know, don't become an American pop group at that point.
I agree. I mean, if Chinese pop starts making like English songs, I'll be like, what the hell is this? What am I even listening to at this point? Right.
Yeah.
But I will say though, it makes the concerts more fun for a Western audience when you can sing along to the music. Right.
I agree. So
because like the only lyric I knew at Big Bang was "Fantastic Baby," you know, and I yelled that shit. But other than that, I'm like, I don't know the rest of the song. I'm just like, "Fantastic Baby, yeah."
Then you're just bouncing along, you're bumping your head. All right, when's the next one coming? All right, Fantastic Baby.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it's complicated for sure. But we can wrap this segment up with let's ask you to create a little tier list right now. What is your Mount Rushmore of Korean musicians?
So, Big Bang for sure. Like Big Bang's the GOAT in my mind. Always the GOAT, forever the GOAT. I'm so happy when they came back with that one song. You know, rest in peace to Seungri, who got basically fucked by his scandals. Top gotta stop smoking weed out there, dude. Like, come to America, do it. Stop doing it in Asia, okay? They're going to lock you up over there.
For real.
We already know G-Dragon, Taeyang, and Daesun are probably doing sketchy ass shit behind the scenes too, but whatever. They didn't even call for it, right? Big Bang's the GOAT. Honestly, I kind of like Girls' Generation as well. Like, it's kind of like
iconic.
It's a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure. I blast it once in a while. I feel like I'm a little teenage girl again, listening to her music. I'm not too proud of it. It's one of those things where it's like I'm at the gym, I'm playing Girls' Generation. I would never let anyone see my phone. I hide that shit. I hide that shit from the public. All right, never. But yeah, I'll say those two. The GOATs of the time are probably like my round Rushmore, and it's like, of course, you got like the small ones as well. Like they all got bangers. Like SHINee has bangers, A-Pink has bangers. If I had to say, like, I can go deep, dude. Like, you ever heard the girl group Gvis?
No, I do not. Never heard of that. Never heard of that.
Oh, here's another one. Here's another GOAT actually. Beast or Batiste.
Wow, Beast. They were so hot back in the day.
Dude,
so hot back in the day.
They have this like trail of like, it was just bangers after bangers after bangers, you know, like the song Midnight, the song Shadow. I was like, ooh, these are bangers.
Yeah.
How about you? Man. What would you say is your Mount Rushmore K-pop?
Number one, gotta put Big Bang on the spot. Did I even listen to like all their music? Nope. But I think my take is this, you know, some of the new gen, like, hey, all right, this is gonna be a clip right here. All right, this is a hot take, but for all the new K-pop listeners out there, don't be upset when I say this, but Big Bang and 2NE1 walked so that BTS and Blackpink can run. There would be no BTS without Big Bang. Facts. There would be no Blackpink without 2NE1. Maybe this is me being an old head and being like, music back in my day was better. But I think Big Bang songs were so good. They would do so well with the Western audience right now if it just had that exposure. 2NE1, way ahead of their time. Music was so good. Like, they were the first girl group that was not formed around being the pretty girls. Like, they were like cool and different and kind of edgy, and their music reflected that. And I think that they are the best Korean girl group of all time. I don't think Blackpink comes close. Get that Red Velvet out of here. Don't even come at me with Twice. Put some respect on 2NE1's name. They walked so that they could all run. Bang.
Oh, we just pissed off the entire TikTok generation.
I don't care. Flame me in the comments. Tell me how wrong I am, but I will stand by that until the day I die.
You want to talk about a passionate fan base, dude? You do not talk about Twice like that.
I said it. Twice isn't that good. I said it. I'll say this. I think Blackpink is the next. So 2NE1 walked, so Blackpink can run, and I think Girls' Generation walked, so Twice can run. I think.
Yes. Yeah. Twice is the new generation of like the pretty girl group, right?
Yeah.
Blackpink is like they're pretty too, but it's like they're like more like the edgy 21 vibe. I mean, they're both under YG if I'm not mistaken, right? And then BTS
So
basically like the new Super Junior. Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
exactly.
there's no Big Bang. There's
No
no
Big
new
Bang.
generation
No.
Big Bang. I can't think of one. They're so unique.
Nope. I agree. Yeah, no. So it's like 21 and Blackpink were both YG, and then Girls' Generation was SM, and then I believe Twice is, I think they're JYP. I think that's what they are. But yeah, either way, I still think the older generation was way better. Come at me, but
Yeah.
I don't want to get flamed too hard, so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Twice is under JYP.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought. That's what I thought. But anyways, so that is about it for today's topic about K-pop and everything. So thanks for listening. We want to hear from you in the comments down below, or DM us wherever you see this clip. What are your thoughts about K-pop and its rise to appealing to the global culture? Like, should it be in English? Should it stay in the motherland tongue? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like, let us know what you think about it. But that is about it for today's episode. But actually, before we go, I have some news to tell you all. Today's episode is actually not free. But actually, by listening to this, there is a payment you must do. And what this is it's an agreement. It's a Yellow Kings agreement. The royalty agreement. And what you got to
Join
do
the
is
royalty family, the royal family.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. And to do this, you actually must go over to our YouTube page, which is Yellow Kings Pod, and to our Spotify page, the Yellow Kings Pod, and you need to follow us and subscribe to us. We don't make the rules here. Like, it's just when we created this podcast, it's a binding agreement. I'm so sorry, but
It's
you
part
must
of the
do that
Constitution.
as payment. Literally, we didn't make the rules. We're just a messenger. Don't shoot the messenger out here, okay? So go over to YouTube, get over to Spotify, subscribe to us, follow us to get some more of this content. But thanks so much again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Talk to you guys all soon.